I'm about to show you the 3-step system that I used to build a 6-figure halal digital business in 12 months without showing myself. This system helped other Muslimas build 10 to 20K months businesses. And by the end of this video, you will be able to implement it yourself. Now, you might have a career background that you want to monetize, no matter the market, whether finance, marketing, psychology, motherhood, language tutoring. This can turn into a digital offer business on Instagram that'll replace your salary. But it's not that easy. If all you had to do was to create a product and post about it online, everyone would have been rich by now. What actually makes it work is the business structure behind what you're selling. Your product, your offer, your content. So let's start from the beginning. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fatima Dos Santos. Before I got into online business, I spent a decade building a 6-figure corporate career, closing sales for billion-dollar companies across Europe and Asia. I had a bachelor's, a master's degree, basically everything that people would call success those days. But I was the only hijabi in most of the rooms that I sat in. And I remember praying dhuhr under the staircase, checking my phone every single minute to ensure that I wasn't late for the next meeting in the office. And on lunch breaks, I'd sprint to the closest masjid, pray as fast as I possibly could, sprint back, and if I was lucky, I had 10 minutes left to actually eat. And at some point, I basically just burned out because subhanAllah, being Muslim is a blessing, but trying to combine it with a career is a whole nother full-time job. And in non-Muslim environments, it feels like a fight. So I left and made hijrah to Cairo with my son. And at that time, I promised myself I would never go back to a 9-to-5. I wanted to do something on my own. I wanted to control my own time, control my own freedom. So why am I telling you all of this? Well, what you need to understand is I didn't wake up one day thinking, oh, I'm going to sell some digital products. Let's make some money. That's not how it works. I was able to build a 6-figure business because I wasn't starting from zero. I was taking a skill I already had from my career and from my degree and pointing it somewhere new. And this is the part most people skip when they talk about digital products and offers. They make it sound like anyone can just start from nothing, but that's not really true. This is for sisters who already have something to offer, who already know how to solve a particular problem. Now, let me give you a few examples. A sister I worked with used to make barely $1,000 a month tutoring Arabic in person. When she turned the same knowledge into a digital online offer, she started making 10K US dollars a month. A guy teaching people how to kick higher is making 5 figures a month. And a sister teaching birth support is making $10,000 a month. And there's this team who's literally teaching dog cleaning businesses who are making around 35,000 US dollars a month. It doesn't matter what market you're in, because like I said before, what matters is the structure behind it. So you might be asking, oh, Fatima, how do I know if I can even do this? Is my knowledge in demand and will people even want it? Well, to answer that question, it's pretty simple. You wouldn't have been hired if your knowledge wasn't in demand. And you wouldn't have spent years getting a degree in something that nobody really needed. And other people wouldn't be asking you, how do I do this? If what you knew wasn't valuable. The demand isn't something you need to go and find. It already exists. Your employer already proved it. They paid you a salary for years in order to solve this specific problem, right? So you don't ask yourself, can I sell it? What is more important is to ask yourself, how do I sell it? So how does this business model work? Well, you create a digital product that could be a course, it could be a coaching program, it could be an online service. You create a business account on Instagram where you're going to promote it, and you post relevant content to attract your ideal clients. And that's basically it. Product, platform, content. But before I go further, I want to clear two misconceptions that I hear from sisters constantly. The first one is that I don't want to show myself at all. Will anyone even buy from me? And can I still do this? Now, the answer is yes, you can. Most of the sisters inside my coaching program don't even show their hands. Also, in my case, I made my first $100,000 before I even showed myself in niqab. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. It is harder to do it faceless because we basically trust people more when we see them. But when you have the right business structure behind your product, it's still possible. Now, the second misconception is, I need a lot of followers. Who's going to buy from a small account? So, okay, let me give you guys an example of this. When you walk into a small boutique, you're not standing there thinking, oh, there's only 3 other women in this store. I'm not going to buy anything. No, you buy the abaya because it looks good on you, because it's the exact color that you were looking for. The number of people in the shop has nothing to do with your decision. And Instagram works the same way. A sister doesn't land on your page, see your follower account, and decide whether to buy based on that number. She decides on whether what you're offering is right for her. The following grows over time regardless, but it was never a prerequisite for success and for making sales. I've worked with sisters making consistent sales with less than 1,000 followers and sisters making consistent sales with 10,000 followers. The follower count was never the indicator of their success. Now, one sister that I worked with had over 75,000 followers, but she was barely making sales. We started over together on a completely new page, but this time we focused on the business structure instead of the followers or views. And in her first month alone, she made over $5,000. Now, all the things you worry about have nothing to do with how much sales you're going to make. So, okay, what actually makes sales? Well, I call it the 3-step system. Every business is built on these 3 questions. What do you sell? Who do you sell it to? And how do you sell it? And those 3 questions, they create 2 things. What and who is your offer, the thing you're going to sell, and how is your content. Now, the offer has to be built in a specific sequence. It has to be offer, content around it, meaning promotion and sales. And it has to be built in that order. A lot of Muslims start with content before they build an offer and wonder why they're not making sales. Now, there's no reason to post content without the right offer behind it. So let's start with step 1, the offer. Now, the reason most Muslims get it wrong is because they think I sell my product or I sell any product. But the offer is not your product. Your product is what you deliver later. Now, let's say you teach Arabic. Your product is Arabic lessons, but your offer is not Arabic lessons because an offer is not just what you teach. It's what you teach, who you teach it to, and what changes for her because of it. You can teach Arabic to reverts who want to understand the Quran directly without translation, or you can teach Arabic to moms who want to teach their kids Arabic at home but don't know where to start. The product is still Arabic lessons, but now these 2 examples sounded like 2 completely different things. Because an offer is the product to a specific person to solve their specific problem. And a lot of Muslims build just the product. I coach on marriage. I coach on psychology. I coach on so-and-so. You know your subject deeply, so it feels logical to teach everyone. More chances for a sale, right? So your product becomes general Arabic course, generic Arabic course, a general mindset program, or a general everything I know coaching offer. But let me give you an example here. If you needed a heart surgery, which I hope you don't, may Allah preserve you, would you rather go to a heart surgeon or to your family doctor? I assume 99% of you will pick the heart surgeon because you trust this person will solve your specific problem. I work with a sister who's running an Arabic school, years of teaching, sisters loved her work, but the business was not generating a lot of sales. We didn't change what she taught. We changed who she was talking to, a specific group of Muslimas, and how she described what she offered, how she described how she could help them from point A over to point B, their desired outcome. And in her next launch, her school made over $28,000 in less than 1 month with the same knowledge, same product, but different offer, different packaging. Your offer is your packaging. Now, when I started, I didn't say I teach sales and marketing because there are thousands of people online who teach this and who say that. I chose a specific market I wanted to help and a specific outcome I wanted to help sisters achieve. So now I help Muslimas build halal businesses that replace their salaries. Because you're not walking around thinking, oh, I wish someone taught me sales and marketing. No. You're walking around probably thinking, I want to build a business that can make me enough money so I can make hijrah, that can make me enough money so that I can go for umrah anytime. And you choose to listen to me because I resonate with you. So that's the offer part, what you sell and who you sell it to. And that's the part most sisters get stuck in before they even start posting content. They'll record their program, it'll be generally good, but because they built a product and not an offer, nobody wants to buy it because you're promoting just Arabic lessons or weight loss program that everyone else's sell. So before you even get to step 2, I want you to write down what you sell and who you sell it to and what changes for her. You can even do it in the comments below, inshallah. Right, I help X, Y, and Z person solve their specific problem. For example, I help Muslimas build a digital product business without showing themselves, or I help reverts learn Arabic so that they can read the Quran without a translation in just 90 days, or I help new homeschooling moms build their first year curriculum without feeling overwhelmed. When I rebuild offers like this with my students, their offers start converting at full price, without changing a single thing about the actual product. So that's step 1. Find out or fix what you're already selling. Once the offer is right, the second step is getting traffic through your content and making sure that your content attracts sisters who actually want to pay and buy your product. I've worked with hundreds of sisters and I've noticed a pattern where 99% of Muslimas get stuck at. Before we would ever get to what to post to even make sales, you need to understand why content does not work for Muslimas in the first place. Now, there are 2 main reasons for this. Now, reason number 1 is that nobody ever told you how important content is, how mindful it has to be to convert leads to sales. Hence why you try, for example, to ask ChatGPT to do it for you, or you just post whatever comes to your mind that feels like it's kind of on topic, or you follow trends and post what other sisters are posting, or you kind of make a random poster and post it on WhatsApp. The list goes on, and it all comes down to misunderstanding what the job of content really is. But listen, sis, when you pass shopping alleys, I assume you don't buy everything you see. At least I haven't seen any sisters do so. Moreover, you sometimes don't even buy what you like because we don't buy all of our wants and needs. I have a coaching program where I personally help you build your business. And I helped sisters build 5 to 6 figure businesses, most of them without ever showing their face. All of the students who go through the entire program get fantastic results, build lives of their dreams, make hijrah, found umrah, and I generally think my offer is fire and every ambitious sister should sign up. But you won't see me just posting, hey, I have this program, join sis. In fact, many of you came here through content that had nothing to do with my program. I didn't even mention my program. Everyone's trying to sell us something 24/7. It's not enough to just show up and say, I have a product. If it was that easy, everyone would have been rich by now, right? So that brings me to the second reason many sisters get no results with their content. And that's because they want to build a business without showing their face and without showing themselves, yet they learn tactics from face-forward creators. I had many sisters hop on a call with me before joining my program, and they'd also considered different coaching programs from different Muslima coaches. And then I'd ask, yeah, but do you want to be face-forward? And they said, no, not at all. So I'd ask, but do you know these sisters will actually teach you strategies that work for creators who do not show their faces? And that was the light bulb moment for these sisters. Throughout my first year on Instagram, I wasn't showing myself, not even my hands. And most of the sisters who join my program also want to keep themselves 100% private. They need different strategies than you learn from a face-forward creator, because buying a product is like going on a journey. The more content you watch, the more you feel you want to get inside my program. And that's because content is a journey of building trust. I trust this sister can help me solve my specific problem, and it's built subconsciously throughout content. But most of the business owners online post face-forward content. And building trust when you're showing yourself versus when you don't show yourself is a completely different game. So content is about putting the offer in front of the right people. And what you need to know is that not all attention is good attention. You can post a video that gets thousands of views and 0 sales. Now, why is that? Because views aren't the goal. The goal is to get your offer in front of the right sisters who are already trying to solve their specific problem. There's a difference between a sister who watches your content because it's relatable and a sister who watches your content because she's actively searching for a solution to her problem. Now, if you're teaching Arabic to reverts who want to read Quran without translation, a video about 5 tips to learn Arabic faster might get views from anyone curious about language learning, but a video that speaks directly to the frustrations of sitting with a mushaf and not understanding a single word you're reading, that reaches the sister who is actually in pain about that specific problem right now. And that is the sister who actually buys. This is why 2 sisters can post about the exact same topic and get completely different results. One is talking about the topic in general. The other is talking and speaking directly to the specific person she built her offer for, in the exact words that sister would use to describe her own problem. So you have your offer and you're posting good content. Sisters are watching it, engaging with it, but what you need now is promotion and sales. If you walk into a store and you loved everything you saw, but there was no one to take your payment, no clear way to actually buy anything, then you just walk back out, even if you wanted to buy, because there was no path from I want this to I'm actually going to buy this. And that's why you need something we call a funnel. Watch the content, then go somewhere specific. In my case, the path looks like this. A sister finds me through Instagram or YouTube. She watches content that is built specifically for her. And then she goes onto my sales page where everything she needs to say yes is laid out clearly, what it is, who it's for, what changes for her, and how to get started. Your content's job is not just to inform and, like I said, build trust. It's to lead someone somewhere. a free training, a wait list, a sales page. If your content is good, but there's no real clear destination after it, you're doing all the hard work of building trust and then losing the sale at the very last step, simply because nobody knew where to go. So you have all three steps: the right offer, the right content, and a clear path from watching to buying. And all of them work regardless of what niche you're in: finance, relationships, marketing, fitness, languages. Let me show you what it actually looks like when all of the three work together. I worked with a sister. Her name is also Fatima. She's a stay-at-home mom who spent 7 years learning Arabic. Then she started teaching it informally, sending posters in WhatsApp groups, getting clients from word of mouth. But her sales weren't predictable and she knew she could be making more money. Now we built all these three steps together. We worked on her offer, so it wasn't just, oh, I teach Arabic. We worked on her content, so it started attracting sisters who are looking for Arabic lessons. We worked on her content, so it started attracting sisters who are looking for Arabic classes and want to pay. We built a funnel that convert her attention into money. Now, after building all these three steps, she started hitting 10K launches, 10K months. But there's a difference between knowing what steps to take and knowing how to take them. So if you're now wondering, how do I actually build the offer? How do I actually develop content? And how do I actually develop a proper funnel? That's exactly what I'm helping you implement inside my one-on-one coaching program. I work specifically with Muslimas who already have a career background, a degree, or something valuable to offer, and who are serious about turning that into a digital product business, making 5-figure months. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, click the link below for more information, and I'll see you in the next one.